Hi there, this is my love letter to books, and today I wanted to talk about the newbie BookTube tag and just a little bit about me, how I got into books, and what books mean to me, and why I still keep reading to this day. So, I think for me, it wasn't always about the story, but it's always been about how books connect me to other people. And when I was really little, I think that my mom would always try to teach me how to learn how to read, always about animals. The dog ate the bone, the dog chased the cat. And I just remember sitting with her and trying to make the letters into words and then understanding that the words became a story. And to me, I think that the beauty of a story is that there's a beginning, middle, and an end. And I have always loved how the ending is supposed to teach us something. There's a lesson to be learned, but also is to help us understand how we as the reader really got to that ending, whether that's a good outcome or a bad outcome, because that gives me abilities to be able to apply those lessons to real life. And so in terms of my favorite types of books to read, there's always different genres, and people always ask, what's your favorite type of book? What's your favorite genre? And for me, I think it bounces a lot about what I need in that moment of time. So I love mystery books. Nancy Drew was totally my favorite book when I was in the 3rd grade. And then Boxcar Children. For me, as a child, that was something fast-paced that had a beginning and then usually the case solved at the end. And I think to me that was so fulfilling. And then growing up, I always was reading a series: Boxcar Children, Nancy Drew, Babysitter's Club, Saddle Club. And then as I got older, one of my favorite books was Anne of Green Gables. And when I think about the common theme about all these different books as I got older, it was this thought process that I really love seeing how people transition in different life stages. And even when life gets more complicated, something that we see in the Harry Potter series, how we could either rise to overcome those challenges and the people we meet and stay and help us fight along that adventure along the way. And I think that kind of ties into why books have always remained constant for me, because it is something that I do on my own. When I'm reading, I'm really absorbed into the topic, right? Talking about my favorite things about the book. But also, I think the hunt for the book was something that drew me closer to my mom, and it was always an adventure. So my dopamine hit would be going to a library to see if they had a book that I wanted to read, or it was going to Borders or Barnes and Nobles. And whenever my new favorite author released a book like Jodi Picoult, Sarah Dessen, if there was that book available and I was the first one to get to read it, I would just get so excited all the time. And to this day, my mom still calls me when she sees a book at Costco from one of my favorite authors, and usually sometimes offers to get it to me. And it's a bond that has really shown me that she supports what I really love doing because she knows that it brings me joy. And I think through this journey, like maintaining that connection with my mother and also seeing the evolution of storytelling, the evolution of me just being able to analyze why I find characters so interesting and so compelling, I think has really helped me find people's stories so interesting in real life. I think one of my greatest strengths, or so my friends have told me, is that I'm really good at asking questions, whether it's from a stranger or someone is a new friend, a new acquaintance, or someone I know really well. And I think the key to that is to remember that everyone has a story in their life, whether that has already happened or is happening right now. And the greatest gift that we can give someone is to be really engaged and just interested in something that was really important to them, whether it be something really easy or something really difficult or something really hard. And I think my curiosity of what these moments meant to people and how it shaped them, of what their hopes and dreams came to be, I think that those questions really initiated from having that innate curiosity about how my favorite characters' lives are going. So I challenge you that whenever you read a book, maybe think about how this character reminds you of one of your dear friends or families, and pay special attention to how that story ends, because it'd be interesting if your close friend or family, if they have those same type of problems, those same type of struggles, and maybe you could help give them the right personalized advice and just support and wisdom that could really make a difference in their lives. I think we never really know who we're going to touch with a simple comment, a compliment, or just the right word of wisdom, or even just the ability to be able to calm someone down when they're stressed, so that they can continue to make good decisions and have a better day tomorrow. And I always say this, books are so endlessly fascinating to me, because I believe that authors give us that story, that equation, because they have a certain life experience or life lesson that they want to teach us. And it's our responsibility as a reader to not only find the lesson of value in that, but to be able to implement that story and lesson in our own lives. So thank you so much for listening to my introduction as to what got me interested in books. And I guess a follow-up question to that is what got me interested in BookTube. And I think for me is when I thought about a niche or a topic that I really wanted to speak to get better at, but also just to encourage my love of reading and to be able to share that with others and to encourage me to read more, is what spurred my pursuit of talking about books online. I think the greatest output that I've seen so far in being really to think about my favorite books is that it's really made me question why the book resonates with me, but also to take that one step further and how I could make that message compelling to more people. And I think that's one of the most important elements of communication, is that whatever we think is high level interesting, it is probably interesting at a surface level to someone else. But to make it really interesting to someone is that you need to package it in a way that relates to them. If you could just refer back to a story or to a situation where that lesson could really help, that really goes a long way. And so I hope that my experience with BookTube would help me make more friends, because I think that we can never have enough people in our lives to lift us up at different times. I hope that I deepen my appreciation of books. But most importantly, I also hope that I'm able to communicate my deep love for reading to inspire someone to maybe not just read the book, but also to think about the lessons and to be able to incorporate them in their lives. So thank you so much for my introduction to BookTube. I hope that my videos will give you more points of reflection and maybe spark your interest in topics or books that you haven't heard of before. So until next time, take care and keep reading.